the administration in Washington learn a lesson from this and not repeat it.
When we hear talk of stimulus too. Before I let you go, let me somewhat change the subject to what Democrat Evan Bayh said when the Indiana Democrat announced he won't be running this year. He indicated, well, it's no fun, it's not effective being in the U.S. Senate. Is it effective? Was he wrong?
Well, I think you have two choices. One is you can stand and fight, or you can decide not to fight anymore and leave. I respect Senator Bayh's service in the Senate. I just think that there are other people, and me included, who think there's a different choice to make if you think you can make a difference in Washington.
The White House says you, certainly other Republicans, are welcome to take part specifically in a summit about health care reform. Will Republicans take part?
I believe so, but I think we ought to understand what that entails. If the White House simply wants us to take this fatally flawed health care bill that the public hates, which is a product of secret negotiations and sweetheart deals, I don't think that's a place to start. But if we can start over and work together to try to find common ground to help bring down the costs of health care, I think we'd be very much interested in that.
A senior Republican in the United States Senate, John Cornyn of Texas, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan.
The top Democrat has been out campaigning with an eye on the midterm elections this November. Barack Obama took questions at a town hall meeting in Henderson, Nevada on Friday. Then he was in Las Vegas supporting the Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, who's trailing his potential Republican challengers in opinion polls. And on Thursday in Colorado, CBS News chief White House correspondent Chip Reid reported,
President Obama was in full campaign mode as he tried to light a fire under the struggling campaign of Colorado Democratic Senator Michael Bennet.
If you help and finish what we started, we're not just going to move Colorado forward, we're going to move America forward.
Bennett is behind in the polls in an election year that's looking more and more perilous for incumbents, with voters angry over everything from 10% unemployment to Wall Street bailouts. The mood in the country is increasingly throw the bums out.
Our chief White House correspondent, Chip Reid. And now we have the pleasure of turning to Vancouver, British Columbia, the site of the Winter Olympic Games. CBS News correspondent Steve Futterman, you're covering. And, well, as we mentioned last weekend, the games were off to a very sad start, the death of a luge competitor from the Republic of Georgia. But beyond that, I've heard from some reporters that these games are full of glitches, are they?
Well, I think they have the normal glitches. Obviously, you can't anticipate a competitor dying on a training run. Some people have complained that this training run should have been safer, so there may be some complaints aimed at the organizers in that sense. You've also had the cauldron not successfully rising completely. You've also had some bus delays and weather delays. There have been weather problems. I mean, these are things that happen at Winter Olympics. Mother Nature doesn't always go along with the organizers. I think there have been glitches, but not that many more than a normal Winter Olympics.
And how are things going for Americans? I assume the tourists, the visitors who got tickets are having a great time. And you said that there was America's greatest single day in Winter Olympic history. What was that?
That occurred on Wednesday. The U.S. captured 6 overall medals. The U.S. had never done that before. 3 of them were gold medals. Probably the highlight of the day came in the early morning when Lindsey Vonn, America's top woman skier, actually the world's top woman skier. Remember, she had been plagued by that shin injury, that painful shin injury. Well, she won the most prestigious event for women in alpine skiing, the women's downhill. These were her comments afterwards.
It was a bumpy ride, and my shin was definitely hurting me a lot, but I just had to stay focused. I knew what I had to do, and I just went out there and I did it.
And she became the first American woman to win the Olympic downhill, historic for the U.S. The next gold medal came at the speed skating venue. Shawnee Davis, he was a repeat winner. He won his second straight Olympic gold in the 1,000-meter event. Then the evening was capped off with the flying tomato. Shaun White, the guy with that long red hair, he won for a second straight time the men's half pipe.
Shaun White on the snowboard. Thursday there was men's figure skating head-to-head, the U.S. versus Russia.
It was a confrontation. sensation, the great Russian defending Olympic champion Yevgeny Plushenko. He won 4 years ago in Torino. He retired, then came out of retirement, up against the current world champion, Evan Lysacek from the U.S. Lysacek performed very well, so did Plushenko, but the judges gave it to Evan Lysacek by just under a point and a half. He becomes the first American to win this event in the Olympics since the last time the Olympics were in Canada, 1988. His thoughts afterwards.
For me, this season, more than any other, has been about perfecting 4 minutes and 40 seconds of skating, start to finish.
Now, how about the host country, Canada? There had been a remarkable drought. Whenever Canada hosted the Winter Olympic Games, Canada wouldn't win any gold. How about now?
The Canadians had hosted the Olympics twice before. Canada had won medals, but never gold. This country was obsessed with winning gold. Well, they have finally won not just one gold, but multiple gold right now. So that monkey is off their back for the moment.
Let's talk about men's hockey. There are a lot of stars of the National Hockey League there, representing their various home countries. What's the outlook for that?
Well, the Canadians are obsessed with this. This is the one gold medal they want more than anything else. They feel sort of an entitlement. It's hockey. It's their sport, they feel. And they have a great team. They are favored to win. They're led by the great captain of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby. And next week, we will find out who wins gold. But I will tell you, I think the entire country will be watching almost every Canadian game. They had some trouble the other night. They ended up having to go into a shootout against the Swiss team, but they are a very good team, and still most people think they will probably make it into the final match.
And the U.S. team may medal?
The U.S. team doing okay. Not clear if the U.S. will actually get a medal, but if you have good goaltending, like they say in the Stanley Cup, you can win a Stanley Cup. You can also win an Olympic medal if your goaltending is hot.
There's the sound of hockey in Vancouver at the Winter Olympic Games. One more week to go. CBS News correspondent Steve Futterman. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Dan.
Please follow us on Twitter. Follow CBS Roundup and CBS Radio News. I'm Dan Raviv in Washington.
This is the CBS News Weekend Roundup, a wrap-up of the week with the correspondents who cover the news.
Fun is a new address in Las Vegas. Aria Resort and Casino and City Center features technologically advanced guest rooms, critically acclaimed chefs, seductive nightlife, and Viva Elvis by Cirque du Soleil. Reservations at arialasvegas.com.
Does your school or nonprofit group need help with fundraising? See's Candies has the perfect solution. Delicious Easter eggs, lollipops, boxed chocolates, and more. Call Se's Candies at 1-800-SEES-123 or go to Sees.com and get started today. Starting a fundraiser with Se's is as easy as 123.
Please listen to this special announcement regarding your hearing health. Belltone, a global leader in hearing care since 1940, is offering free, no-obligation hearing evaluations for a limited time. This comprehensive analysis includes a personalized hearing health assessment and visual ear examination using a state-of-the-art video otoscope. For more information or to find a location near you, please call Belltone today at 1-800-BELLTONE. That's 1-800-BELTONE.
Kenny, technician for Safe Light Auto Glass.
My customer had a small chip on her windshield, but ignored it. Then the other day, she started her cold car, cranked up the heat, and crack, it spread. If only she'd called sooner. When a chip's small, we can usually repair it in just a half hour with our state-of-the-art resin. A Safe Light repair is so reliable, we guarantee it for life. And with most insurance plans, it's free.
Let Safe Light handle the insurance claim for you. Just call 1-800-800-2727.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Every day, people are afraid to report violent crimes. In times like these, choosing to report a crime or helping the police can be a difficult decision. A no-snitching culture has sprung up in our communities, making it unpopular and sometimes even dangerous to report a crime. Do the right thing by calling 911 or your local crime tip line. If you're the victim of a crime, report it. If you know about a crime, report it. To learn more about how to do the right thing, visit ncpc.org or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
KCBS News Time, 1:58. Traffic check now with Jacqueline Dunn.
All right, Steve, we're dealing with a major injury crash. This is in Napa, southbound Highway 221, just before Anderson Road. It's involving two cars blocking the left lane. Emergency crews are on the scene. They're still trying to get one of those parties that's trapped in that vehicle. And it looks like they're going to need two tow trucks with flatbeds. So those cars definitely not drivable. Your next update is at 2:08 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Bay Area weather, we are looking at rain very likely throughout the day today with slightly cooler temperatures throughout the Bay Area. The high temperatures today in the low to mid 50s with winds out of the south about 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies with a slight chance of morning showers on Monday. Then the prediction is for sunshine the rest of the day, even though temperatures will be a little cooler, mostly in the mid to upper 50s. Rain is likely on Tuesday as well. Right now it is 48 degrees in Santa Rosa, 51 in San Jose. There's a light rain in San Jose right now. San Francisco, 52 degrees. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on All News 740 and FM 1069 KCBS. It is Sunday, February 21st, coming up on KCBS.
I'm Mark Seelig with more on a tentative agreement that ends a weekend strike vote by hundreds of Safeway janitors.
Whatever it took, we're glad that the contractors were able to come to a fair agreement with us.
And I'm Martin Schaefer. A study suggests local governments should consider rezoning or risk pricing working families out of their community.
And fresh questions over who knew what and when concerning a popular diabetes drug which went to market despite known links to heart attacks.
What's happening and why. KCBS AM and HD. KFRC FM and HD1. San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose.
CBS News, I'm Steve Knight. Another setback for peace in Afghanistan. The Taliban today rejected the latest overture from President Karzai, calling him a puppet who is bogged down in corruption. The NATO offensive to drive the Taliban out of the southern town of Marja continues. CBS News military affairs consultant.
I don't think there's any question that we will, in fact, eventually subdue Marja. It's just a matter of time. They're doing it very deliberately, obviously, to keep down civilian casualties and collateral damage. Reports seem to suggest it might take as long as several more weeks to fully secure the city.
When that happens, NATO says it has a new provincial government ready to take over. A new Senate report says there are serious health risks caused by the world's best-selling drug to treat diabetes.
Some senators are asking why the Food and Drug Administration allowed a clinical trial of Evandia. Possible risks. David Graham co-authored a report on Evandia for the FDA.
Evandia is a dangerous drug. It is outmoded. There are much
2007, the FDA ordered a warning label be put on Evandia. Said drug says it's a safe one. Some of the information is being taken out of context. Sam Litz, CBS News, Washington.
There's 33 children that a group of American missionaries tried to get out of Haiti and into the Dominican Republic weren't orphans after all. The Associated Press reports that parents told them they gave the kids to the missionaries so they could have better lives. CBS's Bill Whitaker in Haiti notes that the missionaries' leader remains jailed there.
I anticipate that about an hour prior to the deer.
It can't be good for Laura Sophie, who's now still in jail. She was insisting all along that she was only looking for orphans. And even in the face of the evidence that we and other journalists uncovered, she maintained that.
The Space Shuttle Endeavour is scheduled to return to Earth tonight, but NASA Flight Director Norm Knight says that iffy weather might prevent a return to the Kennedy Space Center.
I anticipate that about an hour prior to the deer return, we'll have a pretty good idea of what the weather looks like and make a decision at that point what we're going to do.
Edwards Air Force Base in California is the backup landing site. Newt Gingrich predicted at a meeting of conservatives in Washington that Democrats will lose Congress this fall, and President Obama will be a one-term president.
President Obama has created at least 3 jobs I know of. Bob McDonald, Chris Christie, and Scott Brown.
American speed skater Apollo Anton Ono won bronze in the 1,000-meter final and much more.
Gets Winter Olympic medal number 7. It's a bronze, and he's in the record book.
CBS's Steve Futterman reports that Ono's 7th career medal puts him ahead of speed skater Bonnie Blair. This is CBS News.
Please listen to this special announcement regarding your hearing health. Beltone, a global leader in hearing care since 1940, is offering free, no-obligation hearing evaluations for a limited time. This comprehensive analysis includes a personalized hearing health assessment and visual ear examination using a state-of-the-art video otoscope. For more information or to find a location near you, Please call Beltone today at 1-800-BELTONE. That's 1-800-BELTONE.
Kenny, technician for Safe Light Auto Glass.
My customer had a small chip on her windshield, but ignored it. Then the other day, she started her cold car, cranked up the heat, and crack, it spread. If only she'd called sooner. When a chip's small, we can usually repair it in just a half hour with our state-of-the-art resin. A Safe Light repair is so reliable, we guarantee it for life. And with most insurance plans, it's free.
Let Safe Light handle the insurance claim for you. Just call 1-800-800-2727.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Scientists have a new tactic to kill some bothersome little critters.
Research at Northern Arizona University is going after the pine beetle, responsible for destroying millions of trees in the West. A microphone inserted into infected trees records the insect's own sounds, and when modified and played back to the beetles, they run off or kill their own kind. Researcher Richard Hofstadter says it's environmentally friendly.
The sounds are very specific to the beetle species themselves, and so far they've had very little impact on other organisms.
Currently, the process isn't practical on a large scale. Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
The Dalai Lama said that he had never heard of Tiger Woods when interviewed by the Associated Press. Woods, of course, explained in his apology that he had strayed from his Buddhist faith. Dalai Lama, after Woods' scandal was explained to him, said that self-discipline with awareness of consequences is important to Buddhism and all other religions. I'm Steve Knight, CBS News.
News, traffic, weather, 24/7. All News 740 at FM 106.9. KCBS.
It's 2:05 here at KCBS. Rain is likely throughout the day today. We're getting light rain right now in San Jose. Good morning, everyone. I'm Steve Little. Results of a recent study on Bay Area affordable housing suggest that local governments need to rezone in order to accommodate more working families. KCBS's Margie Schaefer reports transportation and housing costs need to be considered together.
An Urban Land Institute study predicts a shortage of 30,000 units by 2025 for working families that will be priced out of housing in the Bay Area.
It also means that our children and our grandchildren may have a lot of trouble staying here.
That is Executive Director of the Urban Land Institute San Francisco, Kate White, who says city and county governments need to consider serious policy changes.
There needs to be a very aggressive rezoning, planning for new areas, whether it's old shopping malls that are now defunct or large parking lots that can be redeveloped into multifamily, much more affordable workforce housing.
And moving further away isn't necessarily the solution. Transportation and housing costs need to be considered together.
You may end up spending a larger percentage of your income on housing and transportation than you would in a more inner city, closer in suburb.
A cost calculator available through the Newslink section at kcbs.com can help crunch the numbers. Margie Schaefer, KCBS.
It looks like there won't be a strike involving Safeway janitors. KCBS reporter Mark Seelig says the union representing the workers has announced a tentative deal that calls for an increase in wages.
Rachel Hunnekins is a spokeswoman for SEIU Local 1877, which represents about 450 or so janitors who clean stores from Salinas up to the Oregon border.
The negotiations have been ongoing since actually September of 2009 last year.
She says it started getting nasty a few weeks back with reports of intimidation by the contractors who provide janitorial service work for the grocery chain. So a strike vote was scheduled for this weekend, then an 11th hour agreement was reached on Friday.
The main issues for the janitors were maintaining their benefits for health care, for retirement, other things.
Hunnekins says what's more, they were able to get workers a boost in pay from $10.24 an hour to $14.05 an hour.
A really good victory for our union, especially considering the difficult economic climate.
She says millions of people buy their food from these stores, so it's important that they remain clean and safe.
The janitors who work very hard to maintain that environment for all of us definitely deserve to be compensated for their work.
The deal must be ratified by a majority of the rank and file. A vote is expected within the next few days. If approved, the contract would run through 2012. Calls into officials with Safeway and their contractors have not been returned. Mark Seelig, KCBS.
KCBS News Time 2:08. Our first look at traffic in the 2 o'clock hour, sponsored by Chevrolet. Here's Jacqueline Dunn.
Good morning, Steve. We're going to head back up to Napa following this major injury crash. Southbound Highway 221 as you're approaching Anderson Road. Emergency crews have both lanes blocked at this time. Your Golden Gate Bridge looks great. Traffic flowing freely in both directions as you make your way in and out of the city. And on the Bay Bridge, traffic moves well across the upper and the lower decks. Caltrans does have some road work. They have the two right lanes closed on the upper deck, beginning at the incline out towards the tunnel. And on the lower deck, the two right lanes closed, beginning at center anchorage all the way until you get past that S-curve. Your next update is at 2:18 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Bay Area weather, rain likely today with slightly cooler temperatures in the low to mid-50s and winds out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. The overnight lows tonight in the mid to upper 40s. Partly cloudy tomorrow with a slight chance of morning showers. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on All News 740 and FM 1069 KCBS.
Every Chevy car, crossover, and light-duty truck comes with a 5-year, 100,000-mile transferable powertrain limited warranty, whichever comes first, with roadside assistance and courtesy transportation programs. It's the best coverage in America. See dealer for details.
European Sleepworks has very little competition. Yes, there are lots of brand-name mattresses out there, but almost none of them are chemical-free. While the European Sleepworks mattress has no harmful chemicals like fire retardants or polyurethane, our components are eco-certified and safe. Even our raw materials are environmentally friendly. Natural latex from a sustainable source and organic cotton and wool. European Sleepworks claims one other distinction that leaves the name brands out of the running. We use up to twice as many coils as their premium mattresses for the ultimate in comfort, support, and stability. If the brand names lack these things, where is our competition? Try Germany, where they value quality design and green technology. But why travel there when you can find mattresses built for health, performance, and value at European Sleepworks, Adeline at Ashby in Berkeley.
Get KCBS breaking news text alerts on your phone. Text the word alert to 4QCBS. It's 45227. Or sign up for alerts at KCBS.com.
Sunday, the PGA Tour on CBS brings you the WGC Accenture Match Play Championship. Last year, the top 64 were here. From Woods to BJ to Phil, Sergio, and Ernie. But this was the Jeff Oldesby show. He gained momentum with every round. And after a close encounter with a cactus, he went birdie, eagle, par to put away Stewart Sink for the title. The WGC Accenture Match Play Championship. Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports.
KCBS News Time 2:11. Former Secretary of State Alexander Haig died yesterday at the age of 85. KCBS's Dave Padilla reports that the four-star general was a controversial figure whose legacy may well have been summed up in just one soundbite from 1981.
Hours after President Ronald Reagan was shot in an assassination attempt in 1981, then Secretary of State Alexander Haig went before television cameras and said, quote, "As of now, I am in control in the White House, pending the return of the Vice President." Some viewed the comment as an inappropriate power grab in the absence of Bush Sr., who was flying back to Washington from Texas. Politico.com White House reporter Nia Malika Henderson says Haig wasn't very fond of George Bush.
He thought that George Bush Sr. was too moderate. So in 1988, he very much ran to the right of George Bush. Of course, George Bush obviously won that. And even in those statements in the hours after that assassination attempt on Reagan's wife, you can almost kind of hear some sort of sense that maybe he wasn't so confident in George Bush then either.
As Malika Henderson said, Haig had an unsuccessful presidential run. Haig died at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore of complications from an infection. He was 85. Dave Padilla, KCBS.
$10 million seems like a lot of money. But as KCBS reporter Tim Ryan tells us, the leader of a San Francisco environmental organization says a criminal fine of that size for the 2007 Bay oil spill is just a pittance, considering the damage to local wildlife.
Hong Kong-based Fleet Management Company agreed to the fine as a result of a criminal charge for the loss of 53,000 gallons of bunker fuel when the Costco Busan struck a Bay Bridge pier in thick morning fog.
How far does $10 million go in creating deterrent? Not very far.
Deb Self is the executive director of Baykeeper.
Even though that's going, a lot of that is going into the oil spill trust fund, just the cleanup costs alone, just the immediate cleanup costs for the Costco Busan oil spill were over $70 million.
The $10 million will be split between a trust fund that will help with future oil spill cleanups and the National Fisheries and Wildlife Foundation. Fleet management admitted not only to the spill, but to doctoring the ship's navigation log after the spill. It still faces civil lawsuits, and Self says there's evidence the thick oil ruined the bay's herring fishery. In San Francisco, Tim Ryan, KCBS.
In the wasteland of outer space. Sir, we have no reinforcements. Things were at their darkest.
Dad, our flashlight's broken.
I guess we better turn on the lights and get it fixed, right, buddy?
Then can we keep playing?
Children who spend time with their parents are less likely to drop out of school, abuse drugs or alcohol, and are more likely to finish college. So imagine what a little time can do for your family.
Let the battle resume!
From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Hi, it's Kim Wonderly. You know, people are shopping at BayAreaHalfOff.com because their gift certificates are always half off. Some gift certificates are even 75% off.
This week, BayAreaHalfOff.com is featuring gift certificates to Serenity Med Spa, featuring Zerona non-invasive body slimming, Temple of Poi, Learn to Fire Dance. Also featured City Beach, bringing people together. San Francisco Bay Area Limousines, providing solutions for all occasions. Uncle Willie's Barbecue and Fish. All half-off gift certificates are limited, so go to BayAreaHalfOff.com today.
Tonight on 60 Minutes.
This could power a U.S. home.
Call it a power plant in a box. Is it the energy breakthrough we've been waiting for? See it for the first time tonight. Also, the ground zero question. Why is there so much less there than meets the eye? 8.5 years after the sacred ground was hallowed by the deaths of thousands, where is their memorial? Scott Kelly takes a hard look. We'll have those stories, plus a few minutes with Andy Rooney on 60 Minutes. Tonight on CBS.
KCBS News Time 2:15. The KCBS Sports Line now with Ryan Leon.
Apollo Ono made history. He won his 7th medal, becoming the most decorated American in the Winter Games, breaking the record of 6 medals held by Bonnie Blair. Ono finished third to take the bronze in the 1,000-meter short track. In the men's 1,500-meter speed skating, Shawnee Davis finished more than half a second behind to take the silver. Lindsey Vonn took the bronze in the Super G, finishing 74 hundredths of a second behind Austria's Andrea Fischbacher, who won the gold. Vonn says she wanted to bounce back after her fall in Friday's Super Combined.
I feel like most of the time I put enough pressure on myself as it is. And I think, today I felt a little bit more pressure because I wanted to succeed today, and I wanted to try to get back on that top step of the podium, because I definitely missed an opportunity in the Super Combined to do that.
The U.S. has 23 medals, 6 gold, 7 silver, and 10 bronze. In local college basketball, Cal beats Oregon 64-49. It's their final visit in Mac Court. Jerome Randall and Neil Robertson each scored 16 points for the Golden Bears. Stanford beats Oregon State 65-55. It's their second straight road win. Landry Fields had 16 points and 11 rebounds. The Dons hang on to beat Santa Clara in overtime 71-68. Dior Mohorn scored a season-high 28 points for USF. And San Jose State beats Montana State 77-66. It's a rare road win for the Spartans, who snapped a 6-game road losing streak. Adrian Oliver led 4 Spartans in double figures with 18 points. The Stanford women keep on rolling. They smoked Oregon State 82-48. In her final home game, Jana Pell had 12 points and 10 rebounds. The Lady Cardinal have won 16 straight. And the Cal women beat Oregon 79-73. I'm Ryan Leon. Sports and Olympic updates at 15 and 45 on All News 740 and FM 106.9 KCBS.
We are talking about our world today. Oh, and someone's on the line.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline.
Welcome, Jacqueline. How old are you? You sound so young.
I'm 8.
Oh, wow. I assume you're a student, right?
Yes, in Jefferson Elementary. And I have a question.
Sure. And what's your question?
We all know the Earth has 7 continents that currently carry 190 countries. Those continents make up 29% of the Earth's surface, meaning that the vast majority of our planet, 71%, is comprised of water. Taking into consideration man automatically adapts to environmental conditions, why is it that aims to take swimming lessons?
Are you ready for kids who eat healthy? Good nutrition can lead to great things. To find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed, go to mypyramid.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and USDA.
KCBS News Time 2:18. Jacqueline Dunn is back with an update on traffic.
That's right, Steve. We're going to head back up to Napa. We have that major injury crash. This is southbound Highway 221 as you're approaching Anderson Road. Emergency crews have both of those southbound lanes blocked at this time, and they are requesting tow trucks with flatbeds, so those cars definitely not drivable. If you're driving through San Francisco this weekend, southbound on the Great Highway, do remember that between Slope Boulevard and Skyline Boulevard in the southbound direction, that is closed for some road work. A detour is in place and northbound lanes are open. If you're headed to the Sierra, be sure to bring those chains. They are required on Interstate 80 between the Donner Lake Interchange and Kingville. Also on Highway 50 between Twin Bridges and Myers, and on Highway 88 east of Ham Station and the El Dorado County line. In-depth traffic anytime at kcbs.com. Your next update is at 2:28 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
The Bay Area weather, rain likely today with slightly cooler temperatures in the low to mid-50s. Partly cloudy with a slight chance of morning showers tomorrow, and then sunshine in the afternoon with continued cool temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Rain likely under mostly cloudy skies on Tuesday, and then mostly cloudy skies with a chance of rain Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on All News 740 and FM 1069 KCBS.
Get breaking news from KCBS on Twitter. Just follow username KCBS News or get our Twitter details now at kcbs.com.
KCBS News Time 2:20. The rhetoric is heating up over that June ballot initiative that may change the way public energy is offered up by cities and counties. KCBS reporter Mark Seelig says Pacific Gas and Electric is pushing for passage of Proposition 16 and apparently spending mightily to make sure that it happens.
Currently, if a city or county decides to ditch PG&E and get into the retail power business, all it would take is approval by elected officials. What this measure would do is require a 2/3 supermajority vote by residents before any public dollars are spent. Greg Larson with the Yes on 16 campaign says they don't lean one way or another on the power issue. For them, it's all about protecting the taxpayer.
Requiring a vote will make sure that there is a proper public vetting of this decision.
So far, PG&E has spent upwards of $6.5 million on the campaign, the sole funding source up to this point, and is promising to spend more. Why not, says Mindy Spat with the consumer group The Utility Reform Network. She says if approved, Prop 16 will make it harder than ever for Californians to get out from under the company's high rates.
This is the worst kind of special interest ballot proposition, something that would basically benefit one corporation at the expense of everybody else.
The cities of Palo Alto, Alameda, and Sacramento currently buy and sell their own power. Marin County is ready to enter into its own Community Choice Aggregation, or CCA. San Francisco is also making headway into the idea as well. Mark Seelig, KCBS.
After 30 years of no nuclear facilities, the U.S. is poised to build 2 new nuclear reactors. KCBS reporter Patty Rising says the Obama administration has announced $8 billion in federal loan guarantees to restart a program that was once beset by controversy and fear.
The meltdown at 3 Mile Island back in 1979 recast many Americans' view of nuclear power in a scary light. Fast forward 3 decades, it's a whole new picture. Energy Secretary Stephen Chu.
It's time for the country that pioneered nuclear power to retake the lead once again.
Concerns over global warming and the country's dependence on foreign oil have made nuclear power more attractive. Severin Bornstein at the UC Energy Institute says it could be a piece in the clean energy puzzle.
Well, it certainly shouldn't be viewed as the answer, as some people are selling it as, the single thing that will save us. It is one of the possibilities that we need to pursue.
Bornstein says there are still nuclear worries.
There are big question marks about nuclear power, both the cost and the waste disposal.
But there are fewer fears of a nuclear meltdown. Secretary Chu points out the newer generation nuclear reactors are much safer than their predecessors. Patty Rising, KCBS.
Dozens of East Bay religious and community leaders, as well as citizens of Richmond and surrounding cities, met on Saturday to organize outreach efforts to stop the continued violence in the city of Richmond. A program called Walk, Knock, and Pray will start next week, according to the Reverend Andre Shoemaker.
We've never attempted to do anything on this scale in the city of Richmond. I believe that God is going to use Richmond as his proving ground to demonstrate that churches across denominational lines, across racial lines, can come together for the good of the people. And that's what's going to be demonstrated here in the city of Richmond.
Shoemaker says the goal is to knock on thousands of doors in Richmond, spreading the message of peace, providing facts about the ravages of gun violence. He says the faith community must have a bolder response to continued violence. In the wake of the recent gang rape of a student outside Richmond High's homecoming dance in October, the deadly shooting of a pregnant woman earlier this month, and last weekend's shooting during a Richmond church service on Sunday. KCBS News Time, 2:24.
Remember the name Precor Home Fitness, because this is the Bay Area's new exercise equipment store with the very best brands, including, of course, industry leader Precor. Precor Home Fitness is where the selection is amazing. Whether it's a treadmill or elliptical, a home gym, bike, or some free weights, you get more to choose from at Precor Home Fitness. It's also where fitness pros take the time to help you find the right equipment for you. If this sounds like your kind of exercise equipment store, one more thing makes Precor Home Fitness even better. Incredible value. Especially right now, when you can save up to $800 on all treadmills and ellipticals by Precor and PaceMaster. You'll also find super savings store-wide, along with special zero-interest financing. If you're ready to start working out at home, visit the Bay Area's premier exercise equipment store, Precor Home Fitness, in San Jose, San Mateo, and Walnut Creek.
This is the time of year when most Americans are thinking about taxes. But for those who are self-employed, it is even more daunting than it is for those working for someone else. Keith Hall, tax advisor for the National Association of the Self-Employed, says it seems like every year the process gets tougher.
Even those items that are common to most small business owners, even the home office deduction, how to calculate the deduction for your car, seems to be more and more complicated.
Hall tells the self-employed you're not alone when trying to tackle some of the complexities the IRS throws your way.
Whether it's the IRS website at irs.gov or the NASD website at nasd.org, lots of resources out there.
As for consulting a tax professional, Hall says that's a good idea if you're doing something new and different.
Maybe it's the first year you had a new employee, or maybe purchased a big piece of equipment that you've got some accelerated depreciation on, for example.
I'm Steve Posk in the MarketWatch.com newsroom for KCBS.
It's a place not so far away. A place where you don't have to mow the lawn or babysit. A place where you don't have to make time for free time. Where you can cool down in one of nature's swimming pools. Come meet bugs and birds. You may even meet the mysterious creature known as the other you. The silly you. The adventurous you. The curious you. Ask your parents to take you to this not-so-far-away place. Come to the forest, where the other you lives. But first, stop by discovertheforest.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
We live next door to each other.
7. Our kids are classmates.
1 in 8 Americans is struggling with hunger. 6. I work at the gas station, including millions of children and seniors.
5. We went to high school together.
4. I went to summer camp with your son last year.
Someone you know is in need.
3. We speak at PTA meetings all the time.
2. I park your car every day. Who's the 1 in 8 in your life that needs help?
1. We've worked together for years.
You can make a difference through Feeding America and its nationwide network more than 200 food banks. Take action at feedingamerica.org/1in8. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
To help fight hunger in the Bay Area and to find your local food bank, visit feedingamerica.org/1-in-8. That's feedingamerica.org/1-in-8.
KCBS News Time, 2:28. A traffic check now, sponsored by Area Casino and Resort. Here's Jackie.
All right, Steve, we're going to head back up to Napa. We're still following this major injury crash, southbound Highway 221 approaching Anderson Road. Emergency crews have both of those southbound lanes blocked at this time. And heads up, if you're traveling northbound 101 approaching the Central San Rafael exit, looks like a car hit a deer. That car's over in the center divide, but that deer is in the two right lanes. Your next update is at 2:38 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Bay Area weather, rain likely today with temperatures in the low to mid-50s. More rain forecast for tomorrow, at least in the morning. The National Weather Service says we may see some sunshine by tomorrow afternoon, but then rain is forecast for the rest of the week. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on All News 740 and FM 106.9 KCBS.
Well, as a new address in Las Vegas, Aria Resort and Casino at City Center features technologically advanced guest rooms, critically acclaimed chefs, seductive nightlife, and Viva Elvis by Cirque du Soleil. Reservations at arialasvegas.com.
Some statistics are surprising. Some are unbelievable. And some are simply unacceptable. Right now, nearly 30% of U.S. students aren't finishing high school. Nearly 30%. And that's the average. In many places, it's even higher than that. And fixing it is a responsibility that we all share. This is President Obama, and I urge everyone, not just parents, but friends and neighbors and family members, to take responsibility for encouraging the high school students in your communities, to support them, challenge them, push them a little, and do whatever it takes to help them make it through. Because this is one statistic we simply can't afford to ignore.
You can do your part by going to boostup.org and sending an email, a text message, or even a wake-up call to a student at risk of dropping out. Go to boostup.org and provide the boost that's needed to make it to graduation. A message from the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Around the Bay, around the world, around the clock. All News 740 and FM 106.9 KCBS.
Sunday, February 21st, U.S. and Afghan troops taking heavy fire in a battle with the Taliban in southern Afghanistan. The shuttle is expected to land tonight, but could be delayed because of weather. And the nation's governors say the worst of the financial problems facing their states is not over yet. I'm Steve Little.
CBS News Update, I'm Steve Knight. As the battle against the Taliban for Marja continues, U.S.-led forces are facing sharpshooters and roads laced with bombs. CBS's Mandy Clark, embedded with the Marines, reports that their convoy was the fourth to hit a bomb on the same patch of roads.
As light began to fade, the Marines came under attack again.
How far away do you think that storm was?
Next compound hour, probably about 300 meters, 400 meters away.
Luckily, nobody was hurt. The offensive in Marja is expected to last about a month, partly because such care is being taken to avoid civilian casualties. CBS News national security consultant Jeff McCausland.
The Marines are the ones conducting the primary fighting, and those things require any kind of complex coordination. The Marines have to take responsibility, whether that's resupply, communications, coordinating medevacs, coordinating fire support. All those things are done by the Marines, which calls into question, obviously, how good the Afghan forces are.
CBS News Update. I'm Steve Knight.
KCBS News Time, 2:32. NASA is hoping that the weather will cooperate so that Space Shuttle Endeavour can land tonight. Less than perfect conditions in both Florida and California are threatening to delay the astronauts' homecoming. The nation's governors meeting in Washington are finding themselves on the front lines of the recession. The chairman of the National Governors Association warned today that the worst probably is still yet to come as the states look to face their skyrocketing cost. Published reports say that Japan's transport ministry may review and improve its car recall system. The reports come with Toyota's president en route to Washington to testify before Congress about how his company has handled the massive recall of potentially defective vehicles. Alexander Haig. is being remembered as a great public servant by President Barack Obama and former fellow Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. Haig died on Saturday. He was 85 years old. The Iranian human rights activist who won the 2003 Nobel Peace Prize has been forced to remain in hiding. As CBS News correspondent Elizabeth Palmer reports, she fears what might happen if she returns to Iran.
While Iran's police and militias chased and beat opposition supporters at home, shadowy forces were hunting them down abroad, including one of the most prominent, Nobel Prize-winning lawyer Shirin Ebadi. Ebadi left Iran a day before the disputed June election for what she thought would be a two-day law conference in Spain. 7 months later, she still hasn't been able to go home. Friends and family say it's too dangerous. So she's been forced on the move, traveling from city to city in Europe. Now she's arranged to meet us in a location we agreed not to report. Her purpose, to denounce the Iranian government's brutality.
It is my duty to tell the world what's going on.
But she's paid a steep price for this public criticism. Ebadi's Nobel Prize was confiscated by the Iranian government, and her husband arrested, beaten, and given a message for her.
The Iranian government told him no matter where I am in the world, we will find her and silence her.
Ebadi's sister, too, was put in jail, and her law partner arrested, framed, and tortured.
Have you shed any tears? Many times, over and over. Nobody who has watched the clip of Nita's murder is able to hold back their tears. Or when the police car intentionally runs over an ordinary protester. These are not scenes that are easy to watch.
But Ebadi says she won't be intimidated, and she won't be silenced.
I have no plans to bring joy to the hearts of my enemies.
Thousands of miles away in Tehran, the voices of the opposition joined Shirin Ebadi in a call of defiance and of hope. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News.
The head of the EPA plans to unveil a 5-year rescue program for the Great Lakes today. The Associated Press obtained a copy of the document, which pledges a zero-tolerance policy toward any future invasions by foreign species, such as the Asian carp, a huge fish threatening to enter Lake Michigan. Other goals include cleanup of heavily polluted sites and restoring wetlands and other wildlife habitat. Concern is growing about fashion models who are getting thinner and younger, some of them barely in their teens. As correspondent Manuel Gallegos reports, how young is too young for the fashion runway?
It was an unusual sight at Calvin Klein's fall collection this week, a triumvirate of supermodels from the 90s.
Oh my God, apparently it was 13 years since I last did the show.
In fashion, where a minuscule size 0 is the norm and youth rules the runway, designer Francisco Costa brought back older, slightly curvier, though still thin models.
What I was trying to do here is really not really represent the past, but encourage the future.
The 90s were about womanly supermodels, but in recent years there's been an unhealthy trend using very thin, very young, nearly indistinguishable girls to sell clothes. Some only 13 years old, according to fashion insiders who say age is something most in the business ignore.
The difference is, I think when I was around, when they were maybe, unhealthy, they would be sent home. And now it's like a desired look.
Many models have been scouted from former Eastern Bloc countries. Far from home, it's easier for the girls to lie about their age.
There cannot be a fashion don't ask, don't tell. Don't ask her age so she won't have to answer.
DNA model agency founder David Benuvrier says age and work regulations do exist in the U.S., but it's rare that the rules are followed.
They know when they're fitting somebody that's underage or 15 years old. They know. It just has to stop.
The Council of Fashion Designers of America is concerned about the diminishing age, size, and health of models. Powerful voices like Vogue's Anna Wintour and Victoria's Secret model Doutzen Cruz are among the few to speak out.
I don't do runway shows because I don't fit the sample size. Might have fit it when I was 11 or 12.
Cruz says agents and designers alike enable the unhealthy cycle for teen models.
When you're so young and you get the pressure to lose weight, you'll do it because you're too young to make the right decision.
It's a concern that's been lost in the glamour and business of fashion. Manuel Gallegos, CBS News, New York.
KCBS News Time 2:38. A traffic check now with Jacqueline Dunn.
All right, stable. We're still following this major injury crash. This is in Napa, southbound Highway 221, approaching Anderson Road. The two southbound lanes are blocked by emergency crews at this time. In San Rafael, northbound 101, approaching the central San Rafael exit, it looks like a car struck a deer. That deer was in the two right lanes, and then a couple other cars hit that deer. So there's a lot of vehicles over on that shoulder now. CHP is going to be bringing in a brake in order to be able to remove that deer. Checking in with the Golden Gate Bridge, traffic flowing freely in both directions as you make your way across the span. And on the Bay Bridge, traffic moves well on both the upper and the lower decks. Caltrans does have the two right lanes closed on the upper deck, beginning at the incline out towards the tunnel. And on the lower deck, the two right lanes closed, beginning at Center Anchorage all the way until you get past that S-curve. Your next update is at 2:48 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Bay Area weather, rain likely today, and temperatures are expected to be cooler. The highs in the low to mid-50s. We're looking for a high today of 56 degrees at San Jose, 56 at Morgan Hill, 54 in Napa, San Rafael 54 today, Concord 54, Oakland 56, San Francisco expecting a high today of 57 degrees. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on All News 740 and FM 1069 KCBS.
Fun is a new address in Las Vegas. Aria Resort and Casino and City Center features technologically advanced guest rooms, critically acclaimed chefs, seductive nightlife, and Viva Elvis by Cirque du Soleil. Reservations at arialasvegas.com.
KCBS News Time 2:40. The oldest trophy in sporting history went on display before the public Saturday afternoon at San Francisco City Hall. KCBS reporter Margie Schaefer says the mayor and Oracle CEO Larry Ellison celebrated a sporting victory that could also turn into a big economic win for the Bay Area.
The America's Cup trophy sits on a pedestal on a red carpet under the rotunda at San Francisco City Hall. This after BMW Oracle beat the two-time defending champion in a best-of-3 race series to win the Cup in Valencia, Spain.
Well, who the heck needs the Olympics and the Super Bowl when you got the America's Cup?
Mayor Gavin Newsom presenting the key to the city to software billionaire Larry Ellison.
Well, if you're going to get a key to any city, this would be my first choice.
San Diego and Newport, Rhode Island are courting in hopes of hosting the next America's Cup race, but Ellison seems partial to San Francisco.
What other place in the world can you get 28 knots of breeze every day? Guaranteed. It's a fantastic place to hold a sailboat race, especially the America's Cup.
The trophy is on display. It will travel to San Diego and then on to an East Coast viewing tour next week. In San Francisco, Margie Schaefer, KCBS.
A San Francisco man has won a $2 million Bayfront home as part of a raffle that raised money for a North Bay nonprofit agency. Community Action Marin named Tommy Toy as the grand prize winner of its third annual Dream House raffle. This year's Dream House is a 3,200 square foot, 3-bedroom, 3-bath home in Larkspur. The house boasts views of Mount Tamalpais and San Francisco Bay and includes a private elevator. Toy has the option of choosing to take either the home or $1.6 million in cash. KCBS News Time, 2:42.
The Osgood File. I'm Charles Osgood. Have you heard what the state of Texas is doing?
We are challenging the EPA's findings for CO2 and other greenhouse gases, and we are taking it to the federal courthouse.
That's the governor of Texas, Rick Perry. The EPA finding he's talking about is that so-called greenhouse gases are dangerous to humans. Texas becomes the first state to challenge that, others might follow suit.
This legal action is being taken to protect the Texas economy and the jobs that go with it, and defend Texas environmental successes against federal overreach.
Not everybody in Texas wants to challenge the EPA finding that greenhouse emissions are dangerous to humans. It's not exactly an original finding, says Tom Smith, who heads the Texas office of the Environmental and Consumer Advocacy Group, Public Citizen.
That's the conclusion that the EPA has come to after their analysis of this. That's the conclusion that the United Nations has come to, and virtually every other nation on Earth, including China and India.
Other states here, too, Smith says.
39 other states have said the data is so conclusive, we have to take action, but not Texas.
And for good reason, says Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott.
They made that endangerment finding based upon faulty scientific information that has now been discredited.
The UN's report made some assertions that were clearly not true, and they had to back off of those. And many believe that the UN group that turned it out is itself an advocacy group. Governor Perry says this endangers the health of the Texas economy and jobs. Smith says what the governor is doing.
He's endangering the health of Texas, its economy, and our climate because of his inaction to reduce global warming gases. We're number one in those emissions, and we're number 7 in the world in terms of overall emissions if we were a nation under ourselves.
Texas is a force to be reckoned with. Don't mess with Texas, as they say there, and other states might well follow Texas's lead. The Osgood File. Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Attention parents of young children. The following is a partial list of things that are probably happening in your backseat that you're completely unaware of. A food item is probably being stuffed into a crack. A strange sticky substance is being spread everywhere. Deep, sustained, nasal exploration. Someone is probably making faces, hitting back, cleaning of muddy shoes, farting. Something is probably spilling. Gum is lodging in hair. And your kids are probably riding in car seats that are being used incorrectly. In fact, 3 out of 4 kids are not as safe as they should be. But the latch system is in most cars and makes it easier to get it right. Just attach the top tether and the lower anchors. The ones down near the old sandwich and the melted down crayons. Anchor, tether, latch. The next generation of child safety. A message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
KCBS News Time, 2:45. Time now for the KCBS Sports Line with Ryan Leon.
Apollo Ono finished third to take the bronze in the 1,000-meter short track for his 7th medal, a new Winter Games record for an American. Bonnie Blair had the previous record with 6 medals. In the men's 1,500-meter speed skating, Shawnee Davis finished more than half a second behind to take the silver. Davis has won a gold and a silver. Austria's Andrea Fischbacher won the gold in the Super G, finishing 74/100ths of a second faster than Lindsey Vonn, who took the bronze. Right now, the United States has 23 medals, 6 gold, 7 silver, and 10 bronze. Germany is in second place with 14 medals. In local men's college basketball, USF blew a 16-point lead on Santa Clara in the second half as the Broncos stormed back to tie the game and send it to overtime. The Dons hang on to win it 71-68. Dior Lohorn scored a season-high 28 points for USF. The Dons have won 3 straight and 5 of their last 6 to improve to 7-5, 4th place in the WCC. San Jose State beats Montana State 77-66. The Spartans won their first road game in 2010, snapping a 6-game road losing streak. Adrian Oliver led 4 Spartans in double figures with 18 points. Cal beats Oregon 64-49 in their final visit to Matt Court in Eugene. Jerome Randall and Theo Robertson each scored 16 points for the Golden Bears. Cal scored 40 points in the second half. Stanford has won 2 straight on the road as they take down Oregon State 65-55. Landry Field scored 16 points and had 11 rebounds. The Stanford women smoked Oregon State 82-48. In her final home game, Jana Pell had 12 points and 10 rebounds. Stanford can clinch the Pac-10 regular season title outright by winning just one of its final 3 games. The Lady Cardinal have a 16-game win streak. I'm Ryan Leon. Sports and Olympic updates at 15 and 45 on All News 740 and FM 106.9 KCBS.
Because there is nothing more valuable than your time. We created the Bay Area's only 30-minute prime newscast. Eyewitness News, in at 10, out at 10:30, every night on the CW 44, Cable 12.
The 1,200,000 women and men of Rotary have accomplished extraordinary things. They've taught millions of people to read, worked toward world peace, and have nearly eradicated a crippling childhood disease from the face of the planet. But each of those 1,200,000 women and men know they could accomplish so much more. If only they were 1,200,001. Find out what an impact one person can make. Learn about Rotary at Rotary.org.
KCBS News Time, 2:48. Most of us like to think there, or at least like to hope there's no traffic problems at this time of the morning around the Bay Area, but Jacqueline Dunn can tell us better.
Well, Steve, there's not a lot of traffic out, but we do have some accidents. We'll begin in San Jose, northbound 101. This is on the Capitol Expressway off-ramp. It's involving two cars. It doesn't appear to be blocking any lanes. It's over on the shoulder. CHP is headed to the scene. We do have a pretty nasty accident in Napa. This is southbound Highway 221 approaching Anderson Road. The two southbound lanes are blocked at this time by emergency crews. If you're headed to the Sierra this weekend, be sure to bring those chains. They are required on Interstate 80, Highway 50, and Highway 88. See the traffic map anytime at kcbs.com. Your next update is at 2:58 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
And the Bay Area weather, we're looking at rain likely throughout the day today, along with slightly cooler temperatures in the low to mid-50s. The overnight lows tonight in the mid to upper 40s. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow morning, but a chance of sunshine in the afternoon with cooler temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on All News 740 and FM 106.9 KCBS. This traffic sponsored by Chevrolet.
Every Chevy car, crossover, and light-duty truck comes with a 5-year, 100,000-mile transferable powertrain limited warranty, whichever comes first, with roadside assistance and courtesy transportation programs. It's the best coverage in America. See dealer for details.
Sunday, the PGA Tour on CBS brings you the WGC Accenture Match Play Championship. Last year, the top 64 were here, from Woods to BJ to Bill, Sergio, and Ernie. But this was the Jeff Ogilvy show. He gained momentum with every round, and after a close encounter with a cactus, he went birdie, eagle, par to put away Stewart Sink for the title. The WGC Accenture Match Play Championship, Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports.
KCBS News Time, 2:50. Forbes magazine has placed the city of Stockton near the top of the list of the most miserable cities in the United States to live in. KCBS reporter Mark Seelig says city officials were less than pleased and promised they won't take the news lying down.
The list is released every year based on a variety of issues, including housing and quality of life issues. Senior editor Kurt Badenhausen, in a special video feature on the magazine's website, says what set Stockton apart from most was its high crime rate and high unemployment rate. Both are 7th highest in the country among the 200 cities Forbes looked at.
Stockton residents also face long commutes, and they deal with problems that run throughout California, namely high taxes.
Mayor Ann Johnston, in the same website video feature, says the crime rate actually has been on the decrease lately. As far as unemployment is concerned, they're working on it just like every other city in the nation. Being ranked as the city with the highest foreclosure rate in America hasn't helped either. But with anything, there will be good times and bad times, and the good times are ahead.
If you were here 5 years ago, you wouldn't recognize what you see. We built the downtown arena, a ballpark, downtown Weber Point Event Center.
Cleveland, Ohio has the dubious distinction of being the city that outmaneuvered Stockton to get the #1 spot this year, based mainly on lousy weather. 2 other California cities made the Forbes top 20. Modesto came in at number 11. Sacramento was 17th. Mark Seelig, KCBS.
The world is getting a glimpse of global human rights issues as seen through the eyes of teens. It is the Youth Producing Change Human Rights Watch Film Festival coming to San Francisco March 10th and 12th. March 10th and 11th. John Biaggi, director of the Human Rights Watch Film Festival, says it's an empowering tool giving young people a voice to highlight important issues in their community.
Many of these issues are not simple issues. I mean, there's issues of Tibet, child workers, HIV/AIDS, water rights. I mean, these are complex human rights issues that have many levels to them.
John Biaggi, director of the Human Rights Watch Film Festival. KCBS News Time, 2:54. Time to go into the kitchen with Narcy Day.
Adding barley to your diet can lower your cholesterol and therefore reduce your risk of heart disease. This month's issue of the UC Berkeley Wellness Letter shows us that there really is some proof here. The FDA allows this health claim. It's similar to the one for oats. In one USDA study, for instance, people with mildly elevated blood cholesterol saw their levels drop significantly when they ate a heart-healthy diet that contained the equivalent of about half a cup of barley flakes a day. Here's another one. If you buy applesauce, look for the unsweetened. You'll still get plenty of natural sweetness, but nearly half the calories of the sweetened ones. Unsweetened applesauce has only 50 calories to a half cup. That's relatively few calories for its weight, so it makes a nice filling snack. Applesauce with added sugar, high fructose corn syrup, or other sweeteners has about 85 calories per half cup. And finally, popcorn. Plain air-popped popcorn is a healthy snack, but beware of popcorn in movie theaters. In testing done for the Center for Science and the Public Interest, popcorn from the nation's 3 biggest movie chains was found to have 370 to 1,200 calories. About half the calories come from the cooking oil. The sodium ranged from 200 to 1,500 milligrams. Cup of plain air-popped popcorn has just 30 calories. Narcy David, KCBS.
Whether it's news from the global village or details from your backyard, we tell you what's happening and why. All news 740 and FM 106.9.
Please listen to this special announcement regarding your hearing health. Beltone, a global leader in hearing care since 1940, is offering free, no-obligation hearing evaluations for a limited time. This comprehensive analysis includes a personalized hearing health assessment and visual ear examination using a state-of-the-art video otoscope. For more information or to find a location near you, please call Beltone today at 1-800-BELTONE. That's 1-800-BELTONE.
Hey, that stack of money over there with the googly eyes, is that the money you could be saving with Geico?
It's the money I am saving with Geico. He helped me buy this pool table.
Nice. So what else does he do? Can he tell jokes?
Seriously, Kevin, he's a stack of money. He doesn't tell jokes. He just blinks and buys me stuff.
Well, I just thought...
Money can't talk. That's ridiculous. Why do you always take it too far?
Me?
For a free rate quote, visit Geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Can Toyota recover its reputation? I'm Jeff Malden of Fortune magazine with Inside Business. What a reputation Toyota had. In addition to being the largest and most profitable auto company on the planet, it was the most studied and copied. Its production system became a benchmark and a model for competitors to emulate around the world. It became a leader in new vehicle segments like crossovers and new technologies like gas-electric hybrids. But when a crisis arose in the form of complaints about unintended acceleration, Toyota didn't know what to do. Rather than make a forthright statement about the problem, its history, and its proposed solution, the automaker responded with obfuscation, delay, blame shifting, and denial. When the time came to apportion responsibility for the incident and outline a new direction for the company, top Japanese executives were nowhere to be seen. Yet Toyota can come back. If it can convince shoppers that it still offers strong value, then they will find their way to Toyota dealers. The critical ingredient that's still missing is a convincing personal apology. Toyota President Akio Toyoda, as well as his management team, must make a complete explanation of their response to unintended acceleration and answer a comprehensive set of questions from outside experts. Only then will its slate be wiped clean, and Toyota will be free to begin the long process of rebuilding its reputation. Inside Business, I'm Jeff Malden for CBS News.
Hello, and welcome to today's lottery draw. Good luck. And here's today's winning numbers. First one up, it's not yours. Second one, not yours. And another number that's not yours. Okay, this is one number to choose. It's a 5, but you don't get any money for that. And the final number is
not yours.
Yep, so chances are you're not going to hit the lottery anytime soon. Don't get us wrong, the lottery can be fun every now and then. Just please don't rely on it for your future savings. How about this? Brew your own coffee at home instead of buying that latte every day. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering in. Ride your bike instead of buying all that gas. These changes alone can save you thousands a year. Thousands. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feed that piggy bank. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
KCBS News Time, 2:58. Our last look at traffic here in the 2 o'clock hour. Jacqueline Duck.
Good morning, Steve. We'll begin in Napa. We've been following this major accident southbound Highway 221 approaching Anderson Road. Looks like emergency crews have just cleared the scene, so all lanes have been reopened on 221.